Have you ever felt like life is just too heavy? Like your thoughts are on a relentless treadmill, running into the past, into the future, never giving you a moment's rest? It feels like peace is some distant, unreachable shore. But what if I told you that peace isn't somewhere far away? What if it's right here, waiting quietly within you, ready to be found? Today, I want to share a story that will remind you of a simple but powerful truth. Calmness begins when the heart learns to be still. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's discover this together. Once, nestled in a quiet valley, cradled by tall trees and lulled by gentle winds, there lived a young man named Eli. He was only 25, but he carried the weight of a lifetime of thoughts. Each morning he would wake up already feeling exhausted, as if he'd run a marathon in his sleep. His mind was a restless wanderer. One moment, it would be consumed by regrets, replaying what he had lost. The next, it would leap forward, tangled in anxieties about what might come. He couldn't sleep properly. A genuine smile was a distant memory, and peace felt like a beautiful dream that kept slipping further and further away with each waking moment. He felt trapped in the noisy prison of his own mind. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, an old traveler was passing through Eli's village. The traveler, noticing the deep sadness in Eli's eyes, spoke of a wise sage who lived deep in the forest. This sage was known far and wide for his ability to help people find the peace that was missing from their hearts. A spark of hope ignited within Eli. Maybe, he thought to himself, just maybe, this sage can quiet the storm inside me. He decided right then and there. He would go find him. He had tried everything else, so what did he have to lose? The very next morning, before the sun had even touched the peaks of the mountains, Eli was up. He packed a small bag with some bread and cheese, filled his water bottle to the brim, and set out on his journey. The path wasn't easy. The road was long and winding. The hills were steep, and his muscles ached. But the hope that had sparked in his heart the night before now burned like a steady flame, pushing him forward with every step. He was on a quest not just to find a sage, but to find himself. After 2 long days of walking, he finally reached a clearing. There, beside a gently flowing river, stood a small, simple wooden hut. And sitting outside, with his eyes closed, was an old man, breathing so slowly and peacefully it was as if time itself had stopped just for him. This had to be the sage. Eli approached cautiously, a mix of hope and nervousness swirling within him. He bowed deeply and said, "Master, I am lost. I'm drowning in my own thoughts. I can't stop worrying, and my heart knows no rest. Please, can you teach me how to find peace?" The sage slowly opened his eyes. They were kind and held a depth that seemed to understand everything without a word being said. He smiled gently and replied, "I will give you a simple task." He then reached for a small, shallow bowl, filled right to the very brim with oil. It was so full that even one careless step, one slight tremble, could cause it to spill. "Your task is this," the sage continued, his voice calm and steady. "Walk to the end of the river path and then return to me. But remember this one rule. Not a single drop of oil must fall." Eli nodded, a little confused, but determined to follow the instruction. He took the bowl with both hands and began to walk. His focus was absolute. Every muscle in his body was tense with concentration. He felt the subtle shift of the oil with every movement, adjusting his pace, his posture, his very breath to keep it perfectly still. In the forest around him, birds sang their beautiful morning songs. Colorful butterflies danced in the air, and the leaves rustled in a gentle breeze. Other villagers on the path greeted him from a distance, but Eli saw none of it. He heard none of it. His entire world had shrunk to the shimmering surface of the oil in that little bowl. Every breath was measured. Every step was a deliberate, mindful act. When he finally returned to the hut, not a single drop had been spilled. He felt a surge of pride and relief as he presented the full bowl to the sage. The old man looked at him, his gentle smile returning. "Tell me," the sage asked, "did you notice the beauty of the wildflowers along the path? Did you hear the songs of the birds in the trees?" Eli paused, thinking back. He shook his head. "No, master," he admitted. "I saw nothing. I heard nothing." My mind was completely focused on not spilling the oil. The old man's smile widened, and in that time, he asked, "Did you worry about your past? Did you fear your future?" Eli's eyes widened in realization. "No," he whispered, "I didn't." The sage nodded slowly. "Then you have learned the first truth of peace. It begins when your mind lives fully in this single, present moment. When you are completely focused on your task, there was no space in your mind for fear or regret. There was only awareness. That profound stillness you felt. That is peace." A wave of understanding washed over Eli. It felt like a heavy weight had been lifted from his chest. He looked around, and for the first time, he truly saw. He saw the way the river beside them shimmered and danced in the sunlight. He saw the vibrant groove of the leaves, the intricate patterns on a butterfly's wings. For the very first time, he noticed how incredibly beautiful everything was. When his thoughts were quiet, he had been looking for peace everywhere outside of himself. But it was here all along, waiting to be uncovered. Eli thanked the sage from the bottom of his heart and began his walk home. This time, he walked slowly, not in a hurry to get anywhere. He took his time. He listened to the birds, felt the warmth of the sun on his skin, and simply breathed. He had found what he had been searching for, not in a distant land or from a wise master, but deep within himself. The journey wasn't about the destination. It was about learning how to walk the path. This story reminds us that peace doesn't come from changing the world around us or wishing our problems away. It comes from changing how we see the world. It comes from bringing our full attention to this very moment. Be present. Breathe deeply. Notice the small wonders around you. The moment you stop fighting your thoughts and instead choose to focus on the now, calmness will find you. It's always there, just waiting for you to come home to the present. If this story touched your heart and gave you a moment of peace today, I'd be so grateful if you'd give it a like and maybe share it with someone you know who could use this message. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe for more stories designed to awaken your soul and bring a little more calm into your world. Thank you for being here and listening. Until next time, be well and be present.